Maybe you've heard about a smoker who never exercised and is living happily into old age, or a vegan who runs and had a heart attack at the age of 45. It may make you wonder, is your well-being simply written into your genes? In this medical mythbuster, Viv Williams explores the roles genetics and the environment play in your health.
Some people may think, my dad had a heart attack, so I'm likely going to have one too. Why should I bother trying to change the inevitable? Results of a Penn State study show that you can take steps to reduce your risk of disease, even if you've inherited genes that predispose you to certain conditions. The researchers say both your genes and environmental factors like air pollution, socioeconomic status, and healthy living habits influence your chances of getting sick. But how much each contributes to that risk has been unclear until now.
We noted that previously people overestimate the contributions of our genes to the disease risk and underestimate how much the environment contributes.
Dr. Dajang Liu, a Penn State College of Medicine professor, says their research team focused on an environmental factor that's known to be a health risk: air pollution. They used AI technology to sift through the health records of 50 million adults to find out what diseases people got. Then they dug deeper to see how much exposure these people had to two specific elements of air pollution: particulate matter and nitrogen dioxide. He says breathing particulate matter can increase your risk of asthma and COPD, and breathing increased levels of nitrogen dioxide can mess with your body's metabolism, how it changes food into energy.
Nitrogen dioxide more influence your metabolism levels, so we can see that from the data, it causally influences your risk for type 2 diabetes. It influences your risk for high cholesterol levels.
Liu says air pollution can increase your risk of those health problems more than the genes you inherit, which he says is good news, because that means you can make changes to how you live that will decrease risks.
If we can change our behavior, we can live a healthy life, even though we could be unfortunate and inherited some bad genes from our parents.
Eating more fruits and veggies and moving more are two things you can do to improve your health. But you might wonder, how can you do anything about air pollution? Dr. Liu says you should monitor air pollution levels, and to do so, you can go to www.airnow.gov and type in your zip code to see what the air pollution levels are in your area. With this medical mythbuster, I'm Viv Williams.
Interesting. Genetics versus environment, nature versus nurture.
Yeah, we call it epigenetics. You know, we used to think that if you had that gene, you were probably going to get the disease. But the key word there was predisposing. Yeah. You're predisposed to that. Mm-hmm. However, just because you have the gene does not mean you will get the disease. And that's where we found out that epigenetics, lifestyle, and all those different things matter.
So the people that are apathetic, that say, oh, you know, dad died of a heart, really do have agency over their health.
Absolutely.
So exercising and eating better and
all those different things, and the foundation, down to the basics for us all, basically.
Yeah.
So what can we do to arm ourselves? So with the toxins and all that, we have to build cellular resilience. We have to get our immune systems resilient so that we can take out whatever hit, be it pollution, be it toxins. So lifestyle habits are where you start to build up that resilience.
So to build up cellular resilience, what are some of the things we should do?
Eating clean, not the processed foods. You want good sleep. Sleep is huge. Your body wants to repair when you're asleep. And if you're not sleeping, you can't repair. You can't get rid of the toxins and all that. Right. So you have to do a reset. So exercising, moving, oxygenation, all those things really, really count. And we have testing out here now that you can actually analyze via breath analysis and VO2 max, how well are you using your oxygen? So we can actually do things about that now to make us resilient.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not just what are your oxygen levels; it's how well is your body processing the oxygen.
But these are things you kind of have to know about, so you can seek out where to get it.
Now everybody knows. See.
Right.